We're jumping in. We're jumping in,
Just
crossing the entire country and international borders here today.
Okay. It's funny because our sponsor, we have a sponsor today. It's maple syrup.
Just maple.
The whole category.
I think there's a union or something that came together.
They pulled their money together. They just want to see more maple syrup sales across all brands. So thank you, maple syrup. They heard you were coming on, Josh, and they were like, given the influence, this is perfect setup. So
yeah. So our guest today, Josh Jewell, our first ever. I gotta check because we've met some big wigs from Canada, but most of them went to school in the United States. So our first ever All-Canadian, which is, the All-American of the CUFLA, Josh Jewell, former Trilogy Ice, now Trilogy NDP member. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor, and I'm happy to get into it. Let's get rolling.
So let's rewind back. Your dad and I kind of got to know each other over the years. You were a goalie first, right?
Yes.
Or maybe not first, but at some point you were a goalie and also an attackman. And I believe at Trilogy NDP, you played a bit of both, right?
I did. Yeah. I did. I was able to do both. Luckily enough, it was awesome.
So you were even pre-Blaze Reardon, probably. So he followed in your footsteps, is what you're saying.
No, I would not say that, but I would definitely look up to a guy like that.
So take us through your journey, how you kind of, you grew up in La Cañada, California. Your dad was your high school head coach, right? And grew up playing all positions.
Yeah. I pretty much him being my high school coach and getting kind of guys coming out for camps and stuff like that for like a whole bunch of positions, Fogo, LSM, goalie, attack, all those different positions. And anytime those guys would come out, I would just want to learn from those guys, because seeing them on TV, seeing them play just seems like the coolest experience, and just being able to learn from them was amazing. And that got me caught up playing a whole bunch of different positions throughout my career. And in high school, I was attackman for my first 3 years, and then senior year I kind of just went up to my coach and like, hey, first 4 games we're not winning right now, and one thing that we need on defense is a good goalie. And I just said, hey, let me play goalie, and I ended up having I think I still hold the most coast to coast goals at my high school. So it was an absolute honor doing that. And then once I got up to McGill, I played a little bit both attack and midfield. So kind of one position, all position kind of mentality.
So wait, I want to go back to this decision between the positional flexibility, because you hear like two things is like a coach's son, right? Like anytime there's like you always hear like the willingness to kind of do anything like to help the team. But then the flip side of this, and I'm sure you've done this with your boys already, it's like, we don't have this. Like, okay, you're playing it. Like you get over there. Like, right?
It's good to hear that this was your idea, right, and not your dad.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a goalie. Josh will play, which is George and Fox.
Yeah.
George is Mitch's son. Yeah.
Thank you. One of those stories I would probably have to be I think when Mike Gavoston came out for a goalie camp for, I think, David Baker, who is a Trilogy Ice, which is alumni, both coach and did the camp itself, had him come out and do goalie stuff. And I think I went over to my dad and like, hey, can I throw on the gear and just go out there and take some shots too? And he's like, sure, why not? Like, the guy's out here. I mean, and
was that your
pretty much
first
a lot
time,
of those.
Was that your first time hopping in cage then?
No, I picked up one time, I think, Lasers Lacrosse, which I think is no longer a team, and I think West Coast Stars I also play goalie on, was kind of just opportunities like that. And I've fallen in love with the game, and which includes pretty much every position of it. So anytime that there's just teams out there like, hey, like we need an extra player out here, and like, yeah, I'd love to come out for this tournament and play this position. So it's always been fun with just me moving around in different spots and just understand the game in its entirety.
So how did you first hear about the Trilogy NDP program? Is that through your dad? Do you remember hearing about it or being like, oh, I'm going to this, or your dad being like, hey, you should look into this?
Yeah, my so I there's Jackson Treaster and David Baker who both went to it, I believe, 2 years before me because they were 2 years ahead of me, and my sister also went to Trilogy Ice before me. So I mean
Cool.
NDP, sorry, uh, went to it, and they had nothing but the greatest things talking about it afterwards. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. I want to join and
And Jackson
have.
Trees, he ended up playing football at UCLA, right? Is that right?
No, he BC, Boston College.
BC. All right, right,
Yeah.
right. I remember it was a pretty good, legit school.
Yeah, just just something casual like that. Yeah, he's
Plus,
incredible
Evil.
athlete.
Yeah, yeah. So walk us through the the recruitment process and the college selection process, because like going to a school in Canada, I mean, McGill has such an incredible reputation, but like, what is the percentage of Americans that are even at McGill? And then within the lacrosse team, like even like, were you the only American on the squad? And then what is the makeup in terms of the institution itself?
Yeah, the institution itself, I think it's 60% international, and I think
Oh, wow.
a good 40% are US
Is it that high,
students.
really?
So it's
Yeah.
a pretty big amount, and like you get people from Europe, Africa, Asia,
Yeah.
like pretty much all over the world coming there. So it's a pretty big diversity. As of the lacrosse team, it's pretty 50-50. It kind of like goes up and down each year. But it's pretty set, pretty much half and half, which creates a lot of complexity for our offense because a lot of the Canadian guys want to play some two-man, and all the US guys want to do some power alley dodges and stuff like that. And I think it creates a lot of diversity on our team, and I think it's one of our strengths that we have because we can just play into each other's strengths and kind of create a pretty impressive cohesive unit.
How did you find out about McGill? What was the recruiting process like for you?
So funnily enough, one of my tournaments I was in eighth grade, but playing on a high school team, and it was like some coaches came out, and the McGill coach at the time was at that tournament, and my dad was just sitting on the sideline, and the Canadian coach, who was Coach Murdoch at the time, came over. Was like, "Hey, who's this team here?" And like kind of talked about him and kind of got him in touch with there. It's like, "Hey, who's that kid?" I was like, "Oh, that funny enough, that's my son right there," and uh, I think we ended up playing them in the playoffs, and I think I was one of only two kids that scored against the team that he brought down. So brought some, I guess, had him from there, and then after that, I played on a Cadillacs team that went up to Canada. We played in Vancouver, I think also Toronto, and that got my experience to, I guess, Canada in general, and also box lacrosse, which was a ton of fun. And then eventually, I got into playing for the junior San Diego Seals, and that got me in touch with both Pat and Brody Merrill, who coached me. And uh, not surprisingly enough, I love box lacrosse and field lacrosse. Those are both great things, and that kind of opened up my eyes to like, hey, maybe I could go to school in Canada because all I see really, uh, uh, watching mostly are just U.S. teams and looking up and seeing those D1, D3 teams, and like, hey, I want to do this, and I think going to Trilogy kind of opened up my eyes to that, and that was a part of the camp that I love so much because I kind of just came in with a mentality of like, oh, D1 or bust. That's I'm either playing lacrosse there, like at a D1 school, or I'm not playing at all. And one of the good things that not only the just playing against great talent and learning from the best, but you guys kind of open up my eyes to the opportunities that lacrosse can open up, that I can use my sport to not only have fun for 4 years, but also get a great education at a university and kind of use that as a way to get my foot in the door.
That's so kind and so generous. I don't know if we ever were like, check out Canada. You know what I mean?
Like
Like,
said, cast a wide net. We didn't realize.
Yeah.
I don't,
the
yeah,
border, too.
right.
But now we will. Though. Now we will.
Now we have
Yeah.
to. Now we have to. But I'm trying to think, like, did we really like bring up like even?
Yeah,
You know,
so
like-
UFLA. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And we should. We absolutely should.
Yeah.
Now we've
We're
got
learning from you.
Now we've got a trailblazer who
That's
not
right.
only led the way, but
That's right.
very successfully led the way. And one of the things I think is cool, you guys play in the fall, which is really
Yeah.
awesome. And your dad texts me all the time, and I love it. He texts me like, "Hey, these games coming up," and like the last couple for your playoffs, I was really excited to try to watch. But then I think we ended up having tryouts the same exact time. But crazy snowstorm, right? And
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
I remember seeing some of the
Championship game.
like
Yeah.
snow flying everywhere is insane. It's like the opposite of the college season where the weather just gets worse throughout the season, where it's like for ours it's so bad to start and then it gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really weird thing going in, because end of my senior season, it ends in like pretty much May for like Cali, and then all of a sudden we're going straight into like tryouts, training camp, like right away. And our school, we have like our training camp, which is a week before school even starts. So it's a ghost town on campus. All it is the lacrosse guys, 2-a-days, which is a lot of fun. And it's always weird for me once it comes into like spring and I'm seeing all the like things on Instagram, teams getting ready and stuff, and the game starting. It's like, this is our like fall season right now in the spring. It's like we pretty much build up through that second semester and over the summer, and it's like as soon as November hits, we're like, season's over. We're done. And it's kind of a interesting flip-flop, and that's one of the different parts of the game. And also us playing international rules and us having 2 50-yard lines on our field, since we're we play on a CFL field.
Right.
So
Did you ever go off sides or like stop a ride short because you were like, right? Because you're running
pretty-
50, like, "Oh, I gotta stop." Like,
yeah, when we scrimmaged as a team, I'm pretty sure I stopped on a 50-yard line one time, and it was the opposite side 50-yard line,
oh god,
and like a coach blew it and like yelled, like, "Jewel, what are you doing? You're on the wrong side." I'm like, "No, I'm on the 50," and then I turn around and I see the 55-yard line. I'm like, what's going on here? This is wacky. This is weird.
Any other like cultural moments where you're like, wow, I'm definitely out of my comfort zone, or like I didn't know the Canadians did this?
I mean, yeah. One part of in Montreal, it's Quebec. It's French Canadians, and sometimes when we play teams that are also in Quebec, they talk trash in French. And like that's a very interesting thing. We have also a few French Canadian teammates that they chirp each other like that, and I'm just like, what are these guys talking about? Like, I know like a few words, but like mostly just piecing it together. It's like, what's going on here? Like, can you at least like talk trash to me in English so I know at least, like you're saying? It's like most of the stuff's going over my head. So that was a bit of a culture shock up there. For sure.
So one of my like favorite like weird like games once I started playing box and getting more ingrained in like Canadian culture, and then I would hang out with my like non-lacrosse friends or whatever, is I'd have to like explain to them like, oh, everyone calls me Boiler, right? and so I'd have to explain to them like there's like a process, right? Like so like Mitch like would be Mitchie. Right, or like Belisle's a tough
one. Mitchie was the
right. Belisle just gets gassed, right, and you go to Mitchie, right. So I'm thinking it'd be Jeweler or Julesy or Julesy, one of the two.
Those are up there, but it's mostly just Jewel. We have a bit of a celebration, which is Rip the Jewel. I don't condone vaping of any kind, but a lot of the celebrations on the sideline is everyone like puts their glove in front of it and like rip it and throw it off after I score sometimes. And also surprisingly enough, Juice was a bit of my nickname my
Oh,
freshman year.
Juice.
That's
That's a
nice.
good one. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good one. It's way better than Mitchie.
Yeah, that's bottom of the barrel right there.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Mitchie's pretty good. Right? We've
Yeah.
talked about this, right? It'd be like Goldie, right?
Yeah,
Producer Andrew Goldberg, right?
Yeah.
But I would always like tell my friends like what their like Canadian box name would be, and like
Yeah.
try to look through like, okay, are you adding an ER on the end? Is it a Y? Do you need to throw an S in there? Do you have to shorten it? Like, yeah.
How did box play into what you guys did? Would you guys like play as a team in the spring? Would you play box, or was it just everyone would go home and play box in the summers? Like, or did you do stuff with McGill as box?
Oh, sadly not as a team. Most of the guys would play on like their own junior teams and stuff like that over the summer. We try to get some like practices going, playing some box lacrosse on like the basketball court at McGill, which is kind of sketchy for guys that don't have basketball shoes. But other than that, most of the guys, yeah, pretty much in the summers are playing juniors. I wish I had the opportunity to play either like double A or stuff like that, but I had like internships and stuff over the summer, so I wasn't able to do it. But box lacrosse plays a huge part, at least most of the Canadian guys that come and play with us and set some pretty nasty picks. And finally going over the summer and training camps is a great time because a lot of times in training camp, some box picks are not legal in field and they need to sometimes dial it back
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
training camp because some guys are just throwing guys around on some two-man drills, and it's like, no, we can't do that. We're gonna get flagged, and we're gonna get turnovers, and it's a great part of the game playing up in Canada because just the transition in the games, and those guys have such great hands, and watching those guys like cut off ball and just catching balls that they have no business of catching on the crease and scoring. So yeah, just
So you're kind of a unique thing, and I remember I was always like a little jealous of like the football and kind of the hockey guys. You get to have a senior spring now where you're just hanging, right? So like, what do you plan for the spring? And also, what do you guys do as a team in the spring? But I would imagine now that you're done, right? You're probably done with lacrosse.
yeah. We'll definitely go to a couple bars with the boys. Definitely doing that. That's definitely in the works, and that I'll definitely having fun. But a lot of our team culture is a lot of the guys still come out to like off-season lifts and stuff like that, and we also do like some pickup basketball in the off season because we're not going outside in -20. When we're like we do have some snow practices, but it's a bit gritty sometimes. But kind of the fun stuff that we do as a team, we'll do some off-season basketball and off-season lifts and just keeping in touch with each other, just playing different sports and building that chemistry in the off season. That's not necessarily playing lacrosse, but still like getting some competition stuff going.
I hadn't even considered what you kind of laid out, and it's nice that you still kind of stay ingrained because like where I went mentally right away was like, oh my God, are you just like on the scout team?
As the senior scout team,
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
Like,
Kind
are
of-
you just like auto scout team because you're still like at the school?
You have a 6 scout team. Yeah, you
I know,
You're
but-
all Canadian scout team.
That'd be
Yeah.
a tough ass.
That is a tough ass.
That's a tough ass.
Guys
Like,
coming in just hungover, playing fall or spring ball practice,
senior scout team.
just wailing on the.
Oh
new kids.
my God.
Yeah, just doing takeout checks on the boys, just getting them ready.
So did you ever stay up in Montreal over the summers, or have you been coming back to California each summer?
I did a bit of a Maymester my freshman year and got to see the city, but mostly pretty much anytime past June. I'm back home and like working for the most part.
Nice. What's on dot? Do you have a job lined up?
Well,
for-
hold up. Let's talk about some Montreal food.
Okay.
All right.
What's your dish? Would you say that it's poutine or is it the smoked meats? Is it the smoked? Because I think the smoked meat gets slept on.
It does. Everyone just talks about the poutine, which is great.
Yeah.
Not great for you, but it's a delicious ad for sure. And the smoked meat, shout out Schwartz's. That's the place I go to for my smoked meat sandwiches. Those are delicious, and like you don't really hear about like smoked meat sandwiches of Canada, but Montreal has a lot of good spots, and
Yeah.
it's such good food.
And the bagels too, right? The
Oh,
wood-fired bagels. That's the other big thing in Montreal.
yeah, it is. Yeah, bagels. That's a great way to grab on my way to campus every morning. Get
There's
some bagels.
deli in New York, in Manhattan, that used to be in the East Village. It's now in Brooklyn. You know where I'm
I
going?
think I've been there. Yeah.
And it was inspired by Montreal smoked
Yeah.
meat and like the pastrami's and whatnot. Yeah, Mile End.
Yeah. 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 It was. I think there's one in Brooklyn.
Just said that.
Yeah, that's the one. That's Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your smoked meats. What's your go-to poutineria? Did I pronounce that correctly?
I have no clue. That was my first time ever hearing something like that. I'll have to ask my Canadian boys for the perfect diction on that. But I forget the name, but there's a poutine duck confetti place where you get some duck and a poutine, and it's out of this world. Like it's such a good thing when it's like, especially once the snow's hitting and it's a bit cold, and you get some good old gravy, cheese curds, French fries, and some duck, and it's
All right. Well,
so delicious.
hopefully we got some Montreal listeners who can comment on the video or the podcast with the spot with the special duck. Rewinding back to your time at Trilogy NDP, were we at Goucher or were we at Haverford when you were there?
Haverford. We were there.
And anybody you stay in touch with, or guys that you've stayed in touch with over the 4 years?
I haven't gone around. I mean, I follow them all on like their Instagram and stuff, and I love seeing what they're doing at their own institutions, and I guess commenting on them, hyping them up. But no, just a whole bunch of memories that I took away, and if I ever see them in person, I'd love to catch up. Probably talking now about it with you, I'll probably go to trip down memory lane and maybe shoot some text to them, see how they're doing themselves.
I like it. Anything stand out to you from your time at Haverford that you were like, really, is like, oh man, that was one of the best memories?
Probably definitely living in the dorms. That was kind of my first time with the dorm culture, and just living with all the boys, and kind of stuff that you do in between and after practices, getting up to just mischief mostly, but just bonding with them and having fun with that. I think I have a good story with Mitch Belisle. No, Matt Strebel. Who am I? Sorry. Matt Strebel. He was my coach there, and I think it was on the third day that boys were kind of knowing where they were on the team, and kind of interacting with each other well, and kind of there's a dip in the competitiveness there. The first 2 days are pretty intense, but usually there's that dip. There's the wear and tear and stuff like that. But boys, before our morning practice, we're headed to just the cafeteria to get some breakfast, and we saw just Matt just sprinting down like kind of a street outside of campus, kind of near where our dorms were. And like, Coach, what are you doing? It's like 7 in the morning. What are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I run 5 miles every morning. And like, we were all eating together that morning. Like, boys, coach is showing us up right now. We gotta turn it up this next practice. And I think that was one of the more intense practices, after learning that our coach at the camp was putting in the work just as much as we were there.
Well, you'll be happy to know he still goes out and runs 5+ miles every morning.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah, Josh, I can certainly empathize with you. I feel like Mitch and Streebs both showed me up on a daily basis during NDP, when I stroll into the cafeteria, and both of them have now run 5+ miles. Mitch was training for a marathon this past summer, so his was even higher, which is nuts. So,
yeah,
usually at least Strebel comes back with coffee for all of us, so that's a perk. He hits Starbucks and brings. He's wisened up in his old age. Brings treats to the boys.
And shout out to him. I mean, I came in as a goalie, and then during one of our tournament games, I asked him because I was only playing halves. I was like, "Hey, is it okay if I take off my chin guard and get some attack and midi runs?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" And let me have some reps on both positions. So he was an incredible coach. Always got the boys going, and he's just so knowledgeable about the game.
Do you recall how you guys did in the tournament that year? I feel like that team was pretty good. Like that was one of our better teams, I want to say in that.
I don't remember our record, but I remember just having so much fun with the boys.
Yeah.
Ryan's
the only one that's won in recent memory. Ryan coached the rising sophomores last year, and they won the championship. So those guys are buzzing. I think 10 of them are coming back to work with me. I mean, the bar's been set pretty high here.
Yeah. Let's tell you, just gift wrapping you a winning squad here. Just don't screw it up.
So what did you study at McGill, and what's do you have something lined up for a graduation? Are you still working on that, or what's
Yeah, I majored in economics and minored in sciences, with an emphasis on immunology. At first couple years, I was thinking of going to medical school, and then kind of halfway through, I started liking my economics classes more and more, and my sciences classes a little bit less and less. But then I've been transferring to kind of business administration of hospitals, and either that or maybe even medical device sales. I'm kind of split between the two, kind of talking to a few people and trying to get through that. And maybe in a few years, I'll probably plan on getting my MBA and then probably hit the portal for the US schools. And because CUFLA and NCAA, I can play another 4 years. Yeah, I have eligibility. Yeah.
Let's go.
Really?
Let's go. The first
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
Canadian and All-American.
Yeah.
Let's get this out there. Josh Jewell, goalie / midfielder / attackman, is available for 4 years of college. That's incredible.
Yeah.
30-year-old.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
Would you,
it'll be
if you had your choice, would it be goalie or would it be offense?
either. Hell, both. Why not play half the season goalie, half the season midfield? Why not?
You're gonna basically like potentially just sit back, look at what you want to do, go back to school, MBA, and still have 4 years of eligibility.
Yeah, I don't think I'll play all 4 years. I mean, I'd love to do it, but
Adam
realistically,
Sherlin did. Nothing.
Did he?
Nobody.
No, I know
Adam
Adam Sherlin at
He was
Rutgers, but I didn't realize that was.
No, I mean it's a joke. We call him the doctor because he was in school for 7 years, but that was due to injuries.
Yeah.
This is
completely flat.
This is much better.
I know.
Much better plan.
Yeah, well, he could be an actual doctor, and it not,
That's true.
it not be like a joke from Tommy Boy, which is also dating myself.
Yeah. Well, another thing a lot of guys do in the CUFLA is that they play down in the States for 4 years and then go up to the CUFLA and play a few. I mean, Jason Knox was one that we played in the semifinals, and I think he's having a time in the NLL right now. And we played in the semifinals, who is currently both, I think, an ex-Ohio State, I believe, lacrosse player, and then now playing in the LLL and also the CUFLA at the same time. So pretty much
LL and CUFLA at the same time.
Yeah, he was going to all you have to do is go to school. That's pretty much the only limitation. As long as you're a student and taking a certain amount of classes, you're eligible.
I mean, Mitch might enroll next year.
I think I'm going up to McGill.
I can get you in touch with a coach if you really want to get into it.
He's
you gotta loosen up those hands.
Belisle
They call me Belisle.
Yeah, it's French Canadian.
There you go. Be right at home.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's the French word for You'd be
I don't know the French word for uncle.
Well, I know he's 10 on time. Yes.
Yeah. We're but this is a first all around, and now we're learning all about 8 years of eligibility and loving it. We are now going to have to start. We're going to start making calls on your behalf. You guys, we need a goalie, you need an attackman, you need a midi. He'll do it all. Doesn't care what spring, fall, it doesn't matter. He'll play that
and get the McGill pipeline going.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We gotta.
You want to come to NDP? You could be on our 27th.
Not a bad idea, Andrew.
Say.
2027 NDP, Josh Jewell, goalie / attackman.
Why not? Let's go. Let's do it.
Technically, he's still eligible.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Josh, it was so great to see you. You have such a unique story and such an incredibly positive attitude, and we always enjoyed having just being around you. And this is such a reminder of that. And I know you had a tight time window today, so we're so appreciative, especially around the holidays.
Yeah, I'm honored, and thank you again for having me on. It's always an honor and a pleasure talking with you both, and it'll be good. It's been good catching up, honestly. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the holidays, Josh. Thanks again, and congrats on all your success.
Thank you.